Hello and welcome everyone. It is time to enter the Kumite. I'm joined today by our technical engineer, the 940 Ninja himself, Sean Myers. This week we will be visiting Kyrgyzstan and bringing Rafael Fiziev into the arena. But first, if you enjoy the content we're creating, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Rafael Fiziev. He is currently 4-1 in the UFC. He's had 5 fights. So you could argue that he's not necessarily a prospect anymore. He's already there, and he's proven himself against some really notable fighters. But he's still building his way into contendership. I count him as a prospect who's just right on the cusp of being in the limelight of the UFC lightweight division. I feel that he has the skill sets to really set himself apart from a lot of the other fighters in the top 15. But he was born in Azerbaijani in 1993. He's currently 28 years old, right in his prime. He was raised mostly in Kyrgyzstan and says that he identifies with his Kyrgyzstan peoples. Unfortunately, I would love to go in and find more information about him and give you more perspective on his life, his background, where he came from, what he's had to overcome, endure. But it's really hard to find information on him in regards to his personal life. I can't even find his mother's name. But he does have a professional career that we can follow, so let's get into his past endeavors. He comes from a Muay Thai background. He is the 3-time Kyrgyzstan Muay Thai champion in 2007, 2008, and 2009. He did a lot of work with the IFMA, which is the International Federation of Muay Thai Associations. In 2009, he was crowned the IFMA World Championships for the juniors. In 2011, he was the Kazakhstan national champion. And in 2016, he was the IFMA World Champion for the B class, 71 kilograms. Then he joined the World Muay Thai Federation, the WMF, and he was the 2010 WMF Intercontinental 63.5 kilogram champion. So this guy's been fighting for a long time. He's done all kinds of non-official, I would say, you can't see my air quotes, combat, tournaments and competitions. But he's been training with Tiger Muay Thai in Phuket, Thailand. The best, a lot of people claim that is the best Muay Thai, training camp you can take. Very renowned gym all over the world. Some of the best people. Fun fact, he's trained alongside the Shevchenko sisters there and in Kyrgyzstan, so he's very familiar with them. But yeah, let's bring him into the spotlight. Why do we have him in the arena? What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses? So when it comes to grappling, he's not much of a grappler. There's even quotes of him saying that he doesn't really care for Khabib's style. Khabib being a mauler on the ground. He says even when he finishes them, he just doesn't care to watch all the grappling transitions. But that being said, he does have grappling strengths. He's very strong in the clinch. He likes to grab kicks and use a throw or a trip, but he usually doesn't follow through on the ground. He likes to do that Muay Thai flex of, hey, you lost your base. Where's your foundation? No balance. He's really good at timing elbows, knees, uppercuts, hooks on the break. Usually he's the one dictating the break of the clinch as well. And he himself has a very strong base, very good balance. When someone shoots on him, he likes to throw his lead forearm across the neck, pulling them up, or he'll wrap them up in sprawl, and he will hold them there and throw some nasty knees on top of the head. We haven't seen too much of his ground game. He prefers not to go there. But from what I've seen against some, pretty strong grapplers, he can stuff a takedown. He knows how to dig for those underhooks. He knows how to pull someone off of his lower body and then make it a neutral position in the clinch. And then from there, he dominates most exchanges. But he's mostly a striker. So let's get into his striking, right? The first thing I notice is he throws in combos. He's obviously from a Muay Thai background. He's always changing which side he's striking, which is technically proper, but he's just so good at it. He's almost always throwing feints to set up some of the bigger shots. Unless he's just throwing some explosive kick, he sets almost everything up off of his jab, off of a slip that he has. He uses that kind of Mike Tyson head movement specifically to land his crazy hooks to the head and the body. He slips his head just out of the way on jabs and straights while moving forward to land some big shots. Man, he's got some of the sneakiest head kicks in the game. He will throw them at the end of a combo right when his opponent thinks he exchanges over. He landed a good few head kicks against Bobby Green in their most recent fight just last weekend. But I mean, Bobby Green ate those kicks, and he's the kind of guy that will blast you with a kick, even if you block it. He's going to slam it into your arm, and it's going to affect your performance fighting forward into the later rounds. So, future plans. Well, he called out Hasbullah Magomedov, claiming that he was the money fight. So we'll have to see if that fight ever manifests. Hasbullah responded saying that he would finish him. I don't know. I thought it was funny. I definitely made sure to share it all over Twitter. Their little back and forth. But really, it's all just for comedic effect. He did say he would prefer not to fight his Muslim brethren. He says he likes to have that feeling of going to war. And then it's hard to provoke that feeling when he's fighting what feels like a brother. A brother in religion, a brother in arms. Realistically, though, I'd like to see him fight Thiago Moises or Arman Tsarukyan. Just right outside the top 15, really build his way to it. I feel like one more good win, if he gets something, someone between rank number 10 and number 15, if he gets a good dominant win like that, I could see him having just one or two more fights and fighting for that title. That's if he comes out on top. Obviously, anything can happen in a fight. You saw that when he fought Musafayev. Musafayev landed that nasty spinning heel kick. He just didn't see it coming. He does have a good chin, and you saw in that fight too. Good recovery time, but he did get TKO'd in his very first UFC fight. So a lot of people kind of wrote him off a little bit on that, but this guy is way too good for that. I mean, he's one of the best strikers in the game, and a lot of people kind of giving him crap because of the Bobby Green fight. Look, he won that fight. He won 2 out of 3 of the rounds. I gave Bobby Green the 3rd round, but both fighters knew the time frame in which to work, and Rafael Fiziev did enough to win that fight. And that's not exposing Rafael Fiziev that he had a tough fight with Bobby Green. All that does is show that Bobby Green is getting better, significantly better, and he's finding his style because he has the Philly shell style. And he has his hands low, very unique style. So he's coming into his own. He's having to pave the way for this style in mixed martial arts. But there are all kinds of other components that I could go into from here, guys. But I like to keep these videos somewhat relatively short and sweet. But with that, guys, we will wrap up our analysis on Rafael Ataman Fiziev. I'd like to thank everyone for entering the Kumite with us here today. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, guys, this is not a sport. You don't play fight.